Welcome. I'm really excited for today's video because, as you can probably tell from the title, we are going to be reading only Freida McFadden books. I'm so excited for this because Freida McFadden writes thriller books. I don't know if she writes any other type of books. Or any other genre. I've never looked. But typically when I'm in a reading slump, I will pick up one of her books because they're so fast-paced. They always keep my attention. There's always a plot twist, which there usually isn't a thriller anyway, but they're just always so good. They always have short chapters too, which I'm a sucker for short chapters. I love that because I don't like, if I'm going to stop reading, I don't like to do it in the middle of a chapter. So I can appreciate a good short chapter, a good 3-minute chapter. I was watching Aspen Ovart's TikTok, and she was talking about the books that she's been reading lately, and that kind of inspired me to read some Freida McFadden because she was talking a lot about her, and she said that one that she really enjoyed was Do You Remember? So that's what I'm going to start with today. For the rest of the books in this video, I'm just going to kind of go with the flow of what I'm feeling. After I'm finished, Do You Remember? I'm just going to go in and look at her books on Goodreads and read through some of them and pick out which one seems the most interesting to me at the time. I kind of want to mood read for this. I'm not in a book slump, but I have been reading only romance since January, and I feel like I need just something quick and fast-paced that's not going to really bore me at any point. No offense to the romance books. I love romance books, but you know what I mean. They can be kind of slow sometimes. I find with thrillers, even if it's not your favorite book ever, it's still enjoyable because it's just so fast-paced and it just keeps you on your toes the entire time, usually. I mean, I have read some not so great thrillers too, but for this, I'm really excited. I think this is going to be a great video. And I'm excited to get into some more Freida McFadden. I haven't read any thrillers since last year, so like 2 months ago almost. Let's get started with Do You Remember? I just want to say this is probably one of the best Freida McFadden books that I've read so far, and I've read most of her books, I feel like. I have no idea what's going to happen. It's so good. Like, I just want to keep reading. So this book follows a girl who wakes up every morning and she remembers her life up to a point 6 years ago, if that makes sense. So she wakes up every day confused that she's in this like other guy's house who's her new husband, because the last thing that she remembers is being engaged to this other guy that she was in love with. And I honestly have no idea what's going to happen. Like I'm trying to think in my head like predictions, and I don't know. I have no idea. So I actually love that about this because it keeps me wanting to keep reading. I haven't been bored one time. So I love that. It's been so good so far. Okay. I had a feeling that somebody in this book who was deemed nice and good for her wasn't. And I was right. So props to me. Because I literally can't think of anything else that's going to happen. And this is like the one thing that I did kind of guess in my head and I was right. So. But it's still good. Like I don't mind that I guessed it. It's still good. So, we'll continue. I have no idea what's going on right now. I'm so confused. Okay, so I just finished Do You Remember? I'm a little speechless. Nearing the end, I was thinking, when like things were kind of coming together, we were seeing what was happening, I was a little disappointed because it wasn't anything crazy. But then the very last chapter, when it says like a month ago or whatever, like it goes back in time, that's when I was shook. The rating almost went down and then it went back up. That was so good. That was 100% the best Freida McFadden book that I've read so far. It only took me a couple hours to read. That's what that's what I love about her books. That makes me excited to start another one. So we'll see. I'm gonna go look at it now and then I'll come back with whatever I decide to do next. Okay guys, I found my next read. Went on TikTok, searched up best Freida McFadden books, and I literally clicked the first TikTok and watched it. I already read her favorite, which was The Housemaid. So I'm going with her second favorite, which was The Surrogate Mother. So I'm excited to see how that is. Interesting concept, read the description, but I'm not gonna look at the reviews or anything because that's ruined things for me before. So I'm just gonna jump right into it. .44% through the book. I do kind of see where it's going, but I feel like there has to be another plot twist other than what's so obviously happening. But I don't know what it is. Again, this one's so good. And ever since I looked up best Freida McFadden books, it's been all over my For You page, and everybody says this is the best one. So it's gotta be good. I just went to go edit the footage of the last book, and I realized that there's like none. So I'm really sorry that's really short. I basically filmed like nothing, but the book was so short. It's only like 200 pages, 220 pages or something. So I'm gonna say that's why I don't have much footage from that, because I just read it so fast. So I'm sorry about how short that the section for that book is in this video. We are done. The Surrogate Mother. This book follows a couple who are struggling to have a baby. They have an adoption set up, but that falls through. So her assistant ends up offering to be a surrogate for her and her husband. So I really like this book. I think I would rate it around the same as I would rate the last one that I read in this video, which, not to be annoying, but I'm just gonna put that in my February wrap up when I do rate these books. But this light is crazy. It was really good. I found the plot really unique, which I liked, especially for a thriller. It kept me guessing until the very, very end, like literally the last like page or so. So I really liked that about it. And then it was shocking, which all of Freida McFadden's books, I'm coming to learn, are. I think I counted yesterday and I read like 10 of them. But literally the last two that I read in this book are probably the most memorable. Okay, but again, when I say it was shocking. Like, I did not expect one of the characters to be the way that they were. I was blown away. So props for that, because I don't know how you would see that coming, unless if you're like literally a genius. I don't know. So that was amazing. It was so gripping. Gripping is a good word for this book, I would say. I just realized I don't have my Kindle here to continue. I think I can read it on my iPad though. Wait. It's just such a big thing to read on. I don't know. The next book that I'm going to read, possibly the last one in this video, is Ward D. I've heard so many good things about this book, and I haven't read it yet because for some reason I thought that I read it, which I haven't. But I already started it, and it's reminding me a lot of another thriller that I read. I can't quite think what it was. You know what? I think it was Freida McFadden. I don't know the name of it. I feel like it was something about a son. I don't know. There was like another book where one of the main characters worked in a jail. So I think that's why I thought that I had read this book. So far, it's really good. And I honestly, I don't know if I'm just terrible at guessing things, but I don't know what's going to happen, which I've said like 4 times already in this book, but I really don't. But I like that. So I don't care if I am just dumb or bad at guessing things, because it keeps things shocking for me. I'm just gonna keep reading it. If you see me reading it on the iPad, please ignore that, because I know it's literally huge and clunky. Liking so far is the 2 timelines. I don't know why I always love that in books, and that's just what I'm thinking right now, so I wanted to say it. Okay, I'm about halfway, and I would just want to say that I'm never gonna work at a psych ward. It's basically my thoughts right now. If you work at a psych ward, you're so brave. I don't have that type of strength. So I finished Ward D. I feel like there's gonna be things floating around, like dust in my room. Maybe not, but if there is, just ignore that. So I finished Ward D. This book follows our main character, who is in medical school. She doesn't want to work in like psychiatrics, but she has to work a night in a psych ward, which is Ward D, for her schooling. So basically she's terrified. She gets in there and her best friend growing up is in there, which, like, none of this is spoilers. It's kind of in what you would read on the back of the book, I'm pretty sure. This book literally gave me whiplash, like, between who I thought was good, who wasn't. It was literally like, they're good, they're bad, they're good, they're bad. Like, I really didn't know until the very, very, very end. The book was very shocking. I actually do feel like it was the best one that I've read in this video, but I did just finish it, so I don't know. Looking back, in the future I might think otherwise, but for right now, that's kind of where I'm at. I had really short chapters, which again, I talked about, I love. Honestly, when I first started reading this book, I did not expect it to end the way that it did at all. I had like a couple ideas, obviously, of what I was predicting was going to go down, and it was nothing like what I thought. Another thing I want to say is I was literally scared at some points. Like, I was sitting here reading and I was like, oh my god, like, I felt like it was happening to me. So I did like that because it felt like I was in it. Like, it was very realistic. But yeah, I do want to say that's like pretty up there in the stars for me. With all that being said, I think I'm going to end the video here. I'm going to edit and upload. So if you liked this video, please subscribe. There will be more coming, just like this one. But if you have any ideas, let me know, because I am trying to be creative in this. But that's all for now, so goodbye.